I don't see nothing to worry about.
Are you kidding me? If the pressure drops just a bit, the locking mechanism fails and Miss Washington won't be able to escape. What sort of a maniac would lock herself inside a burning effigy without proper measures?
Same kind who repels into an ancient temple full of death traps and poisonous snakes?
Granted, but still.
Seriously, what do you care? If some filthy rich broad wants to flirt with danger to feel alive, I say let her. They pay for our silence, not our concern.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Miss Zoe Washington? The name's Molly. I'm one of the custodian staff. I am sorry to call you directly, but I feel I need to warn you about the Phoenix effigy. I've been examining the hydraulic lock mechanism, and the safety measures are simply not up to par. You can reach me on this number. Sorry for disturbing you. Boris, Molly, listen, you know construction. I need you to drop what you're doing and come take a look at the hydraulic lock for the Phoenix effigy. I don't know what kind of hack slapped this thing together, but we're basically a small shift in pressure away from the Wicker Man here. I know what you're gonna say. Stop being a busybody. But this is serious. Call me when you get this. Okay, yes, hello? Yes, hello? You are on my list of contacts as a safety advisor. I would like to file a complaint about the locking mechanism for the trapdoor on the Phoenix effigy. Yeah, this thing is basically a death trap, in my opinion. Call me back when you get this message.
You do it. Seriously, I'll pay you.
Me? But you're the master of ceremonies.
I'm a multiple Tony award-winning playwright. And famously reclusive. It's part of my brand. I never go on the spot like this. Besides, I do chamber plays, not spectacle. What if people hate it? Shit, they're gonna hate it.
They won't hate it, Mr. Feniger. It's just entertainment.
Entertainment? Oh, good Lord, what have I done? How did I let her talk me into this?
Should I tell Miss Washington that you won't be going on stage? Everyone's waiting for you.
God, no. No, she frightens me. Just give me a moment to control my nerves.
All right, Mr. Feniger. Break a leg.
Get your ass on stage, Axel. It's just a job.
You picked the words right out of my mouth, Mr. Feniger. Now, the clock is ticking, so...
You can do this, Axel. Man up.
So I hate to be a prissy Pete, Mr. Feniger, but everyone's waiting. Could we move this along?
Come on, Axel. You're wearing a costume and a mask. No eye contact. Nothing to worry about.
So, does this mean we can get started? No?
What's the big deal? This is Zoe's show. You're just here to add a splash of credibility. You should be flattered. Besides, it's not even a public performance, just a private gathering among friends. What's the harm?
Well, that's the spirit, Mr. Feniger. Let's go. In your own time, of course.
God, I hope those inspection gloves are on the next boat. The Dead Sea Scrolls just keep coming in. This batch has never even been catalogued.
You know, I don't understand. I ordered inspection gloves about a month ago, and we're still out. How are we supposed to handle the scrolls without inspection gloves? It's ridiculous.
The thing about scrolls is that they're so porous. You make one mistake and they turn to dust in your hands.
You touch a scroll with your bare hands, and it's as good as gone. Everybody knows that. It makes me so angry to think about.
Remember the time we received a whole shipment of scrolls from Jordan? That fool Jackson almost ruined them in the lab because he wanted to take a quick look. This time we can't make any mistakes.
It doesn't make sense to me. We're running a multi-billion operation here, but we can't get a decent pair of damn inspection gloves.
I do love scrolls, though. You never know what you find in them. There's a reason the Vatican are all over this. Some of the stuff is pretty explosive. It would be a shame to destroy them out of negligence.
It's a joke. How can we work without inspection gloves? I've told management so many times. These guys are so sloppy. We need a more reliable supplier.
This is intolerable. I have been planning the Founder's Wake for over a month. I have some of the world's most prominent people waiting to pay him their last respects. I have the star of the Prague Philharmonic on stage, ready to play a blindfolded rendition of Schubert's Ave Maria on the harp, for God's sake. And you're telling me that you lost the sodding dagger?
I'm really sorry, ma'am. My team received no notification. You sure they didn't give you a crate number?
They did not give me a crate number. I was told you people would have it under control.
Fine, fine. I'll go and have another look.
See that you do. And when you do find it, bring it to the tower basement where the Founder's body's being kept. The mortician will handle things from there.
Oh, more pressure. Just what I need.
How'd it go? Did she tear you a new one?
Oh, just about.
So, what's your plan of action?
Well, I suppose I could just break open every single crate.
You could, but you'd risk harming the artifacts. How's your damage insurance?
Shit, yeah. Okay, so what's your bright idea?
I figured I'd just shoot down your dumb ones until you hit jackpot.
Nice. What's so special about this dagger, anyway?
It belonged to Tsar Nicholas. Legend goes it was used to stab Rasputin. Apparently, it's been in Janus's family's possession for generations. He donated it to the Ark of Legacy when the Ark Society was started. But his last will and testament specifically requests that he wears it for his wake.
Hey, wait a minute. How are they gonna know if the dagger's even in the coffin anyway? We could just slip the mortician a 50 to keep her mouth shut.
Open casket, Murray.
Are you serious? Janus died 2 months ago. What did they do, mummify him?
Not quite. It's called plastination. The mortician is a true artist. No, I'm sorry, but there's no way around it. We need that dagger.
Oh, outstanding.
Wow. If these walls could talk, what would they say?
They'd probably spew blood. This place has a gruesome history.
Oh, what was it originally?
No one knows for sure who built it. Some say this was once a Roman outpost, some lost battalion searching for Hyperborea. But it was overrun by Celts and everyone was slaughtered.
Uh-huh. I bet Nimue buried Merlin down in the basement, too.
Hey, I don't make the legends. Anyway, this version of the castle was erected sometime in the late 12th century.
For what purpose?
A treasure hold, primarily. British Crown used it to stash taxes collected from the Scottish during the occupation, but Icelandic pirates got wind of it and,
Let me guess. Everyone was slaughtered.
You better believe it. Anyway, later it became a prison. Political dissidents, mad aristocrats, too embarrassing to keep around court, but too high-born to execute. The Inquisition held it for a while, too. Then, during the Cold War, MI6 revived it as a black site prison for Russian spies. I suppose this is how Janus knew about it. Way I hear it, he spent a week here in detention back in '74, but the British let him go, never realizing who he was.
Jesus. Was, anyone slaughtered?
No. But the agent who let Janus slip between his fingers shot himself in the head in the top of the keep.
Hell of a story. Any hauntings?
Now that's a tale for another time.
The critters were the biggest challenge. I mean, that jungle is full of all kinds of nasty creatures. One of our local crew members died from snakebite.
I don't know how you guys did it. I mean, to pull something like that off. The Royal Archaeological Society should award you a prize for bravery in service to mankind.
Well, it wasn't easy, let me tell you that much. At one point, we had to hire a whole village to get it across a mountain pass.
I would have loved to have been there. I volunteered to go to Mongolia next year for the Genghis Khan expedition. I can't wait to get out of this old murky castle.
You think this is hard to handle here? Then imagine pulling that thing through the jungle on the back of a donkey cart.
It's amazing work. I would love to go on one of those adventures one day myself. That's really part of the reason I studied archaeology in the first place.
A couple of times we had to bribe our way out of a tight spot. You can't hide a big baby like that. I mean, I hate corruption as much as the next guy, but sometimes you just gotta keep your eye on the prize.
I think it's beautiful. You did a great service to the society. That's not something you see every day.
Oh, so that's who they are. Byron Washington's daughters. I couldn't place them at first.
That's right. Zoe and Sophia's dad is president of the Pax Mundus Foundation. It's the most influential conservative think tank in the last decades. Pax Mundus is like the cradle of climate change denial. I mean, just saying their name will make an environmentalist collapse into a fetal position and suck his thumb.
Huh. So how did two pampered socialites end up becoming treasure hunters?
Boredom, I guess. You know, from what I hear, the twins always had a cruel and restless streak. They studied at Princeton, and let's just say, they made a splash. Zoe Washington bullied a sorority rival named Deirdre Fitzgerald to the brink of suicide. And Sophia was exposed for running a coke ring.
Talk about rich kid syndrome.
Exactly. In fact, that is the very defense used by their superstar lawyer, Ken Morgan of Morgan, Yates & Cohn.
Right. Didn't he die recently? In a Bangkok hotel? I heard he was assassinated.
Ah, that's just an alt-right conspiracy. Anyway, after the coke ring scandal, the twins faded from the party circuit. Apparently, they began to travel the world, seeking thrills and adventure. And that's when a chance encounter with Blake Nathaniel in the Congo gave them a taste for fortune hunting.
That Blake Nathaniel, who heads the Ark of Legacy?
I guess it's a small world when you're rich and infamous. Of course, that's where the similarities end. While Nathaniel is a gentleman adventurer, the twins are somewhat more, how do you say, heavy-handed?
You're talking about those roughnecks who always followed them around. Like that Adrian Salazar.
Yeah. Ex-Cicada mercenaries, mostly. Call themselves raiders. Zoe and Sophia employ them on their missions. Word is, they kill and blow up anything that stands in their way. Amnesty claims they annihilated an entire indigenous Amazon tribe while searching for the lost city of Z. But they never found the smoking gun.
Wow. I'm just not sure how I feel about that.
Well, we've been led by an ex-KGB spy for about 3 decades. If that doesn't leave you a bit thick-skinned, I don't know what does. They're fresh blood. That's good enough for me.
See, the thing is, the organization is just growing too fast. They scoop up any young college kid for the society, and some of them are just not ready yet. I mean, kids make mistakes. Expensive mistakes. And we don't have time for that.
All I know is they said there was some mix-up, and they shipped out the Anubis statue instead of the Leonardo piece. And we were not prepared to receive that at all.
I wonder if they'll get the Surrealists right. I bet they'll get them mixed up with the Cubists or something ridiculous like that.
Well, as long as we receive the Romanov jewelry on time, I guess we're okay. But I wouldn't be surprised if that collection was delayed too.
I thought they had that all figured out by now. Did they get back to us with new information? I mean, these people, what are they thinking?
Yeah. Remember the time they sent the wrong Warhol? My God.
They always make the same bad excuses, and we end up taking the fall.
You know, I really would have thought that even a recent graduate would be able to distinguish between a Rubens and a Rembrandt, for Christ's sake.
We good here? Security up and running?
Everything is under control, Mr. Nathaniel. The Cloud Serpent is in good hands.
Yeah, I bet that's what Montezuma said.
Sir?
Oh, never mind. You just watch that necklace and trust no one.
So, let me see if I got this straight. The chairwomen run the Ark Society, and they employ an R&D team of scientists and engineers who develop all these crazy projects.
Yep. The architects. Architects. Get it? Bet they stayed up all night for that one.
Right. So, ARC members, they're the VIP investors, while ARC patrons are the lowest tier, clients, basically, who buy ARC Society products but have no influence.
That's right.
So, well, who's on the council then? The guys in the tower?
Yes, we call them the Original Five. The first investors to join the Ark Society back in '91. They're all energy CEOs. Hams and Oil, Planetary, Terrestrial Coal Company. People who shared Janus's fear about the environmental collapse, for obvious reasons. Anyway, the Original Five still have special status to this day. Like deciding which projects to greenlight.
Energy companies, huh? God, the people who do the most damage suffer the fewest consequences. Go figure. How did old Janice convince them, though? Why the hell would some of the most powerful businessmen in the West trust a former Soviet spy?
Ah, now you've hit the nail on the head. Some people believe that Janus has a hidden backer, a secret influencer that informs Ark Society decisions to this day.
No kidding. A hidden hand. A puppet master. An éminence grise.
Oh, shit. You'll be obsessing about this all night now, won't you?
God, that draft from the damn shaft is killing me. Don't they know I have sensitive ears? Ugh. Wouldn't be surprised if I came down with otitis again. Why can't they block up the shaft when they don't use it? We're freezing to death up here. Oh, I swear I can even hear the ocean through that damn thing.
There's an Iron Maiden up there. A real one, with actual spikes in it.
Oh, tell me about it. It belonged to the founder. Now, the Washingtons got rid of most of his stuff when they took over his office, but I guess the Maiden is here to stay.
Ugh, so morbid.
Well, it's purely ornamental, if that makes you feel any better. Iron Maidens were rarely used, if ever. It's really more of a gothic fantasy.
Well, there's a first time for everything.
Now, why would you say that?
I just get these feelings sometimes. I like to think you can't slip anything by me when it comes to the great painters. The contemporary stuff, however, is not my thing. I can't separate one canned turd from another, if you know what I mean.
I don't know how they authenticate video art. I mean, that's like a philosophical discussion. What's a fake in the digital age?
Remember the fake Goya painting? There was just something about that amber tone that didn't sit right with me. Sometimes it just starts with a hunch.
When I worked at Christie's, this guy came in with what he believed to be a real Poussin. It turned out to be a worthless fake, and he was just so sad. It had been in his family for generations, and there were so many stories attached to it.
It's funny, you know. Most of the time, people have so much invested in the object that they don't want to believe that they bought a fake. They seek second opinions and third opinions.
The Chinese vases are really difficult to assess. We once had a vase from the Northern Song Dynasty, carbon dated. It turned out to be less than 5 years old. Oh boy, they really had us fooled there.
Oh, it's always the little details that reveal whether it's a real one or a fake one. You've got to look beyond the general picture. The hands, the ears, those little strokes within the larger strokes that reveals the great masters.
That last shipment of terracotta figurines is so beautiful. I hope it's a real thing because objects like that belong on the Ark.
If it were up to me, I would skip the charades and go directly to the part where we save as many people as possible from the collapse.
I don't know. We had some pretty good costume parties in college. Huh. I guess I just have a weakness for masquerade.
I mean, when you put on a mask, you're hiding something, right? That's the problem I have. They burn all that money, and they don't have the guts to face the reality of their own actions.
As a child, I would sometimes wear a Popeye mask to school.
I don't take the hullabaloo that seriously, to be honest. It's just a show. These people probably have pretty boring lives outside the society.
Well, the way I see it, if it's all going to hell anyway, we might as well have a little fun before it's too late.
I mean, it's all about giving the super rich a good time so they donate more money to the society. All the symbolism is just a distraction.
You know, my son got into this live role-playing in school, and the parents were encouraged to join in too. I got really caught up in it. I guess part of me always wanted to dress like an elven warrior. They're elegant and feminine, and yet so proud and fierce.
You've been sleeping for so long, and now it's time to wake up. Oh, yes, rise and shine, my darling. Don't you worry, darling. I'll get you fixed up pretty in no time. That's right. A little color on the cheeks won't hurt you. God, those damn fumes. Feeling kind of dizzy and reckless. Oh, make sure there are no nosy neighbors around when you ship out.
Roger.
And we need the objects tonight, if possible. We don't want to disappoint the high-ups, if you get me.
Gotcha.
Oh, and remember to check the humidity level on the mummy every 2 hours. If there's any further deterioration, there'll be hell to pay. You got that?
Sure. We'll take care of everything.
Okay, and don't forget to report in if you meet other vessels out there. We need to keep this under wraps.
Roger that.
Things are proceeding smoothly, I hope.
I'm not anticipating any delays in delivering the gift, sir.
Good. I can tell you take the Ark as seriously as the rest of us. I appreciate that.
And we need the object...
Everything in order so far?
Yes, sir, no problems to report. The gifts are being loaded up exactly as planned.
That's what I like to hear. The Ark is one of our top priorities. I trust you're on schedule.
No major hiccups with the gift transportation so far?
Excellent. The Ark wouldn't be what it is without all the small contributions of time and energy from unknowns like you.
Oh, make sure there are no
How are we looking?
No deviations from the schedule. Every gift is set to be in its place very shortly.
Good work. We wouldn't have an Ark without that kind of discipline.